We are streaming. And just to make sure this is working. You heard that, right?
Yep.
Cool. I'm hitting record because all my shit's working.
Me too.
Sorry for the delay, folks. Had a Windows update problem. So thanks a lot, Windows. This week's episode of Here's What I Don't Get is brought to you in part by your own avarice. Does everyone have a better phone than you, better internet, a better car? Well, the only way to make yourself feel better about those things is not to look deep inside and try and find out why you're trying to fill a hole in yourself with random tchotchke shit, but instead look to Amazon and order all those expensive things you could ever possibly want to just pack that hole full of shit that someone's eventually going to have help you move out of your house. Hello and welcome back to Here's What I Don't Get, from north to south, east to west, the only interloping podcast to tackle all of life's toughest issues and the longest consecutively running podcast on the See You Next Tuesday podcast network with 298 straight weeks of podcasts. I'm your host, Ted Burton. With me today, as always, my friend and consigliere to the mob of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Tim the Handlebreaker.
How's it going?
It is trucking along.
Yeah.
I went on a canoe trip this weekend.
Okay.
Did you ever float the river out in Oklahoma, the Illinois River?
No.
So my family, it seems like every summer for a while, we would go on these float trips with family friends. We get a big raft and they drink. I was a kid, so I wasn't drinking beer, but you just drink beer all day and float down the river, and everybody packed snacks and food.
Yeah.
And then I think shortly after we graduated from high school, my family started going on the river cleanups where you got to do it for free. You just had to pick up trash as you were floating. And so a friend of mine out here asked me if I was interested in going, and I said, hell yeah, because why not? And so we got on the river around, 10 or 10:30, ended up not getting off the river until 6, just fucking hammered with beer.
Oh yeah.
Ate a bunch of river chicken. I had a great time. And
river chicken.
That's what they call it. It was just deep fried chicken, but it was in
sounds like a
Ziploc
euphemism.
bags. Yeah. We were having a great time. I got thrown out of my canoe several times by my co-pilot. At one point he got into a skirmish. So there were 10 of us or 11 of us. And there were two sets of us in canoes, and then everybody else was in kayaks. So the canoe guys, we loaded up with the coolers, and the kayak people have to pull up to us to get beers.
Yeah,
but we had unlimited beers. It was great. So at one point, he got into a skirmish with one of the kayakers trying to get a hold of one of the squirt guns, and in the process, started rocking the boat.
Oh, okay.
And just fucking sent my ass toppling out. And then later, we had pulled ashore. We were pulled ashore sitting there, and I'm sitting trying to retie my shoe, and he goes and grabs the front of the canoe to drag it further ashore. And when he drags it further ashore, sends me completely off balance, dumps my ass in the river. I was like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, no, it was a great time. It's probably the most fun and only fun that I've had since moving to this purgatory that is St. Louis.
Wow.
Wow. I was doing some other stuff this week, updating the website, and you brought in St. Louis as an issue in episode 142. I think I think maybe the number was lower, but
the gateway to hell.
Tim brought it in, talking about people smoking in their cars and whatnot, and what was going on. And you described the city as it all looks like it was built in the 1800s, and I was completely warned. I did not heed the warnings that Tim had given me. So the sun's coming in my window, and my cat is catching the reflection from my watch and freaking out.
Oh, like it's a laser. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's always fun.
Yeah, that was my week. Tim, how was your week?
Not bad. I worked a country show.
Oh.
This past week. Yeah, it was. I got to watch the last 3 three or so songs from the from the stage essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
waiting for it to do like a
Waiting for it
move.
to end. um, and it surprises me because when I the shows I've been to there, right? I went to Slipknot, I went to Lamb of God and Megadeth, uh, and there's a bunch of guys, with long black hair in black shirts and black jeans, right?
Hmm.
A bunch of ladies with like fishnets and like heavy makeup, right? You can kind of it's it's
Tim
not.
goes to a specific kind of show.
Yeah, well, I go to a specific kind of show, but like, there's also like just dudes there, and there's just people there also. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like someone you wouldn't bat an eye at, walking down the street. Every country show I've worked at the arena has always been like uh, the same five people copy pasted everywhere.
So you got the white women in like the long jeans with the high
Uh-huh.
waist,
Yep.
and then like a tank top and cowboy boots.
Yep.
Then you've got the woman in the long jeans and like a blouse and a cowboy hat and boots.
Yep.
You have the girl in the tank top and short shorts and boots.
Yes.
You have the guy in like traditional cowboy getup with the button down shirt and the cowboy hat.
And the
Yeah,
jeans.
and the
And the
jeans.
boots.
Yeah, and then you have a
Yep.
guy that's just like in a t-shirt and the jeans and the boots
And a fishing hat.
and a fishing hat.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny crowd watching that. It was just literally just all the same people over and over.
I'm
Like
gonna
it's a
go to
video,
this
like
country con. Yeah, well, like a crowd simulation in a video game. Like they
Yes,
only
yes.
made 3 characters, so now we have to like have this big scene. So we'll just each times 300, and now we
Uh-huh.
have 1,000 people in our audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna go to this concert. What should I wear? Like, oh my god, I'm gonna wear jeans and a blouse and a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. Me too. I said everyone.
I bet the guys have a terrible time finding their wives afterwards.
Yeah. There's like, oh, is that? Oh, no, that's just some other bitch wearing the same silly shirt she bought at Target or
Yep.
Dillard's or whatever store she deigns to attend. Yeah, I was never a fan of the country concerts out there.
They're also, I have found, the messiest
Yeah, there's beer
everywhere. Everywhere.
I remember we did one. I don't remember what the one was, but they had 2 pits of standing room on either end of the stage,
Mhm.
and then in the center were 2 little VIP seating areas.
Yeah.
And the VIP seating areas seriously look like everyone in them ordered 2 beers
Yep.
and then just dumped them on the floor. And they're like, "Yeah, can I get 2 more?" Because it was in that little VIP area, it was just a fucking pool of beer. And meanwhile, in the standing room mosh pit areas, not a lot of beer. I mean, there were spills for sure, but it wasn't a puddle. It wasn't a standing puddle of.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And then I remember later on in the night, I was pulling something, but I was walking backwards, and the steward stopped me and was like, "Tim, wait! Don't, you're about to like step on a full like unopened
nachos?
beer can
Mm.
and roll your ankle, right?"
Is the steward who I think it is?
I don't know.
The steward, the last show that I did out there.
Yes,
Okay.
I don't recall. Yes.
Yeah. That's funny.
And then they said, I was watching out because we already had to file a report. Someone else tripped over a beer can and we had to file an injury report.
Yeah, the house electrician over there has been warning about it for years that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
It's going to take someone breaking an ankle before the arena is like, oh, maybe we should have the crew go out there and sweep it up before we start loading shows out. It's going to be their loss. Another one of the things that I warned them about.
Yeah.
Nobody listened. It's funny. I was looking at like the call sheets of what's coming up this weekend because I'm headed back to Tulsa this weekend, and I thought, oh, maybe I could pick up like a loadout on Friday or a little small call on Saturday or Sunday morning. Maybe I'll do a call Monday morning, and then and there's a call in Joplin, Missouri.
Well, yeah, but it's like a 3-week call.
Oh, it is. It's not
It's
just a one day.
It's a 3-week call, and they want the same people the whole time.
From what I was reading, it was just a 1-day deal. So maybe
it's a different thing
at a later time.
Yeah.
But I was like, I could go do that. Like then I could go I could hit there, get all my gas money, and then drive the rest of the way home. And I thought it's really not worth it. I don't want to hang out with any of those people. So I decided that I'm just going to expend money instead of earning any money. But it's for a good cause. Well, anyway, Tim, are you ready to get into some issues?
I am.
Well, what is your first issue this week?
Here's what I don't get. Having your cake and eating it too. Everyone wants to have their cake and eat it too. I get it. Cake is great. But when it sucks is when the cake you buy that you don't get to have is $10, and the cake they buy and get to have cost them $500 million.
Okay.
I'm talking about Disney.
Oh.
Because Disney just raised the price of Disney Plus to $7.99 a month.
From $5.99?
No, from $7.99 a month.
Oh,
that may sound weird, but that's because the new $7.99 tier is now ad supported, and the previous ad-free tier is now $10.99 a month.
Fuck them. Everybody should just cancel right now and go back to torrenting. This is fucking ridiculous. You cannot add ads to an existing platform.
I hate it. It's not just that they're adding ads, it's that they're switching everyone over to ads.
Yeah. It's Disney Plus has been out for 2 years now.
2 years,
a little over 2 years.
3-4 price hikes.
God damn it!
And
have they also been hiking the price too? Because
I think they raised it by $1 last year.
Sons of bitches! They raised it by $1. They're adding nothing. Like, yeah, okay, you can watch the newest. You can watch Lightyear on there for free. Like, nobody wants to watch Lightyear. That's why it was a bomb.
Yeah. Of course, this last quarter, they increased their subscriber count by 14 million, which exceeded expectations.
So they're making more profit.
Their shares went up by as much as 6.5% because of it. And that was just Disney Plus. As for Disney's overall earnings, they're up from 26% from last year, and up 53% from the year before that.
Which is incredible because the year before that was 2020 and nobody had anything to do except like sit and watch streaming services.
Yeah. So they have more subscribers than ever, which means more money. And they have record profits, but we have to pay more.
Yeah. It's never
amazing.
enough.
It's never enough.
That's God damn it. I'm so glad that I made the decision earlier this year to just say I'm ditching all these streaming services. I'm just torrenting everything now, and I want to watch something, torrent it. Because then it's if I want to watch it again, it's on my computer.
That's man. That's part of it, because I watched Prey, which we're going to be doing a
before and
after on. And I don't have Hulu, so I just typed in Hulu 1 month free trial or whatever, and I already had an account, but it still gave me a free month, so I did the thing, then canceled it immediately so it wouldn't auto renew. But no spoilers. If I liked it, and it was just a movie, I could have. If I would have torrented it, I could have bought it, and still had it. If it was, I could have torrented it and still had it to watch it again.
Here's what pisses me off. I torrented Prey, and do you know what my copy of Prey was ripped from?
Where?
Disney Plus. Because outside of the United States,
that's right.
All that shit's on Disney Plus. Here in America, you want to watch the R-rated stuff, you have to pay $7.99 for Hulu with ads. Fucking had ads forever, and now you have to pay $7.99 for Disney Plus, also with ads forever. Whereas if you're outside the United States, all that shit's on on Disney Plus. If you're outside the United States, you don't have to get AMC Plus to watch Better Call Saul. It's a Netflix original series.
Wow.
You don't have to have CBS All Access to watch Picard and Discovery and all that. That shit's all on Amazon or Netflix or wherever the fuck it is. So, like outside the U.S., all of these services are way better than they are here. And here they just keep fracturing. They fracture and fracture and fracture. And the more they fracture, the more they raise the fucking costs. You know, you and I had talked about several times with specifically with Disney Plus, how if there was a $10.99 Disney Plus version that it was like Disney Plus After Dark that allowed you to have like Blade 1, 2, and 3 and all those kinds of things, that would be worth it. But their version of that is to put all of the bad stuff on Hulu, where it's ad supported. And now Disney Plus is also ad supported. So you have to pay $20 a month to get all the content that they get in other countries, probably without ads, for less than what we're paying.
Well,
fuck them. Fucking torrent everything.
Here's the thing is all the individual prices have gone up. They're upping all the individual prices, but they're not upping the bundle price.
Oh, so to get the ESPN and Hulu and Disney Plus. So they want more people to do that. They want more people to bundle. ESPN isn't failing.
Yeah.
or whichever one is failing. Maybe Hulu's the one that's failing now because but I don't want that bundle because I have no interest in fucking watching ESPN ever under any circumstances.
No. The only sports I ever watch are when you're in a bar or
and it's just on a television.
Yeah.
Or if someone's like, "Hey, we're having a Super Bowl party." You're like, "Oh, I like hanging out with these people and talking
I like nachos.
Shit. Yeah, I'll come over there."
Man,
like I could see me throwing a Super Bowl party, right? It's like, we're gonna haul my TV out and I'm gonna grill some burgers and like we'll have a great time. Like I don't really give a shit about the game. I just want to grill and have a good time with people.
Yeah.
The game is just a thing that's there.
It's on. The game will be on during the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I can't believe it's not just Disney though. It's all these companies, man. It's the last 2-3 years, record-breaking profits.
And now you
prices up.
Spend more. Yeah. Netflix is now something like $20 a month. Like I don't even know what it costs
for like the highest tier. I think, yeah.
I think the lowest tier is like $15.
Oh yeah.
Netflix is obscenely expensive. HBO Max is $15 a month. And then you like go on those platforms, and aside from whatever series like season 5 of Cobra Kai or this new season of Blown Away or like reruns of Seinfeld, there's nothing on there that I'm interested in watching. So if you like the way that I think about those things is, okay, I'm paying $10 a month and I watch one episode of a show on Netflix a week, 2 episodes of Netflix a week. What am I paying per hour to have access to this channel that has nothing on it? And again, you know, the Blown Away, the glass blowing reality TV show that is so fucking formulaic, it pisses me off. They had a new season come out recently, and so I just torrented it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, it's gotten way worse. And they've done it every single season. They do an episode where when they get down to the final 4, where they pair them up and they have to jointly make a piece. Yeah. And then like someone's going to get eliminated. They get to the elimination part and they're like, today we're eliminating nobody. Yeah. Like, oh my God. And the first season, it was like, okay, cool. That's kind of relief. In the second season, you didn't really think about it. But the third season, I was like, they're not going to eliminate anybody this episode. And they're like, we're eliminating nobody. And everyone's like, oh, thank God.
But we're eliminating 2 people next week.
No, they're only eliminating 1 the next week. So they get down to the next week. It's 4 people, 3 men, 1 woman. Get down to the next week, eliminate 1 of the men. Second last episode, eliminate 1 of the men. Because every season has had a man and a woman. So when they got down to the single woman with like 5 to go, it's like, well, she's making it to the fucking final. I don't think I'm going to watch a season 4. It's like, it took me, I spread that out over the course of days, if not a week or more. I would have paid $10.99, $12.99, whatever the fuck, $99 to watch that show this month. That's it. That's the only thing from Netflix
yeah.
that I would have watched. Maybe I would have put on an episode of Seinfeld while I was like eating dinner. Oh, look, an whole episode of Seinfeld I've seen 100 times.
Yeah, every time I turn it on, right, it's like first of all, it's recommending me to rewatch things I've already watched
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
Or to
and with the recommending you to watch things you've already watched that they do. So like I watched all of Seinfeld when I was at my dad's on his Netflix account.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I guess I'll just watch more Seinfeld. And about every 3 episodes, it would jump me into the final 10 seconds of the next episode because there's no like, I want to watch this series again. Let me reset my progress for all episodes. But it's fine because I've seen every episode of Seinfeld 100 times. So it's just like, okay, well, the next episode, hopefully it resets back to the beginning, like whatever.
Yeah, and it's not just the stuff you've already watched. It's because there's stuff you start watching and then you do 3 episodes and you're like, this is not good. Why am I watching this? I'm going to stop watching this. But Netflix doesn't know that. So every time you log in, it's like, hey, do you want to keep on watching this terrible thing? It's like, no, I don't. And there's no way I can tell you that I don't want to watch this.
I got one better for you. I think I fell asleep watching a movie or something, and it started auto-playing some series, some Netflix original series. Yep. And that Netflix original series was just pinned to the top of Netflix for the rest of time. It was like The Guardian something. It looked like Harvey Birdman. I don't know what it was. I don't know what I watched where it was like, well, you want to watch this next. There you go. And just fucking starts playing. And then it's like, oh, because you like this Harvey Birdman show, you must like all this other garbage we have to offer you.
Oh, was it that superhero show?
I don't know what it was. I just see the icon. It's like whatever show that I was actually watching, and then that show.
Yeah.
And now it's not a problem because I'm not on that anymore. So what I'm gonna do is I was looking into it, and I've got 2 Raspberry Pis here. I'm going to load up a hard drive full of Star Trek and Seinfeld and MASH and everything else that I can think of. I'm going to put Raspbian OS on one of those Raspberry Pis. I'm going to install VLC Media Player. I'm going to point VLC Media Player at that hard drive and just say shuffle. And then when I turn on my TV, instead of like browsing through Tubi for 2 hours and be like, nope, this is all garbage, or looking at Amazon Prime, like, nope, none of this. Oh, it's August 1st. Maybe something good will have shown up on one of these. It hasn't. I'll just turn on my TV, switch to HDMI 1. Oh, look at that. Here's an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Let me start watching it. I wonder what will be on next.
I'm surprised that as people might know, I've got new internet. Well, they might not know. I got new internet now. Good internet.
Yeah.
Decent internet now. And
his
so
eyes
as
are peeled back to the back of his head, the bandwidth's so good.
Yeah. So as I'm like redoing all the Wi-Fi stuff, I have to reset the Wi-Fi on the TV, and so it was the first thing I tested out pretty much. So I hit Prime Video, went to movies, and it's on my dad's account, which is we have 2. We're not on the same like family thing. We have 2 different accounts, which is dumb because we live in the same place. We really should save money. But
I'm on Tim's family account.
Yeah, you're on my family account. Anyways, his Amazon Prime Video is so curated to him. I almost have to ask him how he did it, because
I gotta wonder that shit too. Because my dad's the same way.
How did they do it?
I don't know. But every so often I would click into my dad's Amazon Prime and I'd just be like, wow, this shit looks great. Why does none of this ever show up for me?
Yeah, like my dad's, it's all war movies and westerns and reality shows about Alaskan gold diggers and
you know what I think it is?
What?
So with they have those demos, the Nielsen demos, like 18 to 35. And when you're in those demos, they're like, we got to just hit you with content so that you'll start talking about, get on your Twitter and just be like, oh my God, I just watched this season of Reacher and it is so good and everyone should watch it. Oh my God, I just watched Netflix original series 27B and it was so great. Everybody should watch it. And I'm sure that works for 99% of dumbass millennials who are just like, I need content to watch. Whereas when you're past that demo, they're just like, you're just going to fucking watch war movies anyway. Here's your fucking stupid war movies.
Yeah, I think that's it, because it took me a while to find something that I like I could tell the difference of equality wise. It was it was Wrath of Man, but it took me forever to find it.
Yeah,
Whereas I think we're both in that, like, you know, we're in the like male 18 to 40 demo where they catapult everything to you.
just and sure, I'll admit this. Like, I don't see listings for me to watch like Downton Abbey or Gilmore Girls or and female stuff, but I do see a lot of just like garbage. I can't tell you how long. Whatever those 2 new Chris Pratt movies that are on Amazon Prime, it's just like, oh, this is your number one. Yeah. You gotta like just fucking smashing you in the face with watch these 2 new shows. It's like the term Amazon original, the term any studio original to me is an automatic red flag that this is going to be fucking terrible. Yeah. And I that should also count for like major studio films when they go to a theater, but it doesn't as much when something's straight to streaming and it's like this is a Hulu Plus exclusive or Hulu Plus original. I'm just like, this is garbage. Because if it was good, it would be sold to a network television. It would be sold to legacy media.
Yes.
And not that legacy media is good at all. Like, it's terrible, but this is the straight to streaming is the Asylum film versions of like real television shows.
Yeah.
It's worse than Asylum. Like Asylum at least went to Sci-Fi, where Sci-Fi had to show profits. Amazon doesn't have to make a profit on their streaming, because they make it on shipping and the tchotchke shit they sell you every week. Netflix doesn't have to show profits to anybody other than their shareholders, so they don't give a shit. So they'll just keep pumping out garbage content that like fulfills the message because they think that's what people want, and it's not. Like, it makes people feel good to say, oh yeah, I watched this season of Dear White People because I'm like racially sensitive to all this shit. And it's like, well, how was it? I don't know. I was fucking playing on my phone, looking at Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok the entire time. I wasn't fucking watching that show. I watched my sister watch some show. I think it was like The Outer Banks, I want to say. It was something set in like North or South Carolina on the Intercoastal Waterway, and it was just like teenage drama shit. And she would just have this terrible schlocky drama show on, and then she'd be just like fucking texting her friends, clickety clackety on her phone. Like, are you even watching what's going on in the show? She's like, I'm vaguely aware of it. What's the point?
Like, she gets all she needs from the recaps at the beginning of the next episode.
Exactly, yeah, because every show does that too. Anyway, that's a great issue, Tim. I can't agree with you more, but let me hop into my first issue this week. Here's what I don't get. Zipper morons. So I was driving home today, and today set me off, but this has been a problem I've had for a long time, which is when you drive around and people have to show courtesy. Like, there's a nice amount of courtesy, and then there's the wrong amount of courtesy. So last night I was on my way home. I pull up this intersection. This guy's walking his dog. He waves the car that's coming the opposite direction that I am to go ahead. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll still wait because I have a stop sign. And then he waves me along. Okay, I'll go. Thank you. That's a little bit of courtesy. Nobody was really inconvenienced by that. That's the standard level of courtesy of driving. It's the same way, like, the left lane's ending. This guy's like getting kind of boxed in. I'll leave a space and kind of wave him over. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. The zipper morons are the people who are just like, they're trying to set right all the ills of the world by letting every fucking human being on the planet in.
Yeah.
Now, the way a zipper merge is supposed to work is 2 lanes come together, and one person from the left lane goes, and then one person from the right lane goes, and one person from the left lane goes, and then one person from the right lane goes. And the 2 things meet together like a zipper, and traffic just keeps flowing, albeit at a slower pace. Well, today I get off, I'm on my way home, and I live south of a park.
Okay.
And I can take one of 2 ways home by either going past the east side of the park or the west side of the park. And I usually go by the west side of the park because it's a slightly shorter distance than going by the east side of the park. But I can take both ways. So I get off the highway to go by the east side of the park, and I get off the exit ramp, and it's all fucking backed up on the exit ramp, and I'm thinking, what the hell is happening here? get into the lane of traffic. I do the thing that I always do on my way home, which is get myself into the left lane, because the right lane is always filled with people like stopping and turning right into businesses and whatnot. Whereas if I'm in the left lane, I can cruise all the way past the park, all the way to my street, turn left, and I'm home. Like it's a super fast commute. So I'm sitting there. We have a red light. Traffic's backed up. Light turns green. The right lane just starts fucking driving like there's no tomorrow. The center lane is driving like there's almost no tomorrow. And I am sitting fucking stock still. The light turns red, and I move forward 1 car's length. Light turns green again, and the same fucking thing happens. And I'm completely boxed in. I cannot get over into these lanes. So then I start looking, and I realize there's an accident somewhere up ahead. The accident is in the right lanes. So someone way the fuck up there is just like waving every fucking person from the right lane in front of them. And meanwhile, us that are in the left lane are just fucking trapped. So I ended up flipping like a wheel screeching bitch in the middle of traffic, back headed towards the highway, got back on the highway, went the mile down the highway, got off, fucking cruised home like there was no tomorrow. Yeah. I was fucking incensed because I see this shit on the highways too, where people will, like, you get those guys where the zipper merge is coming up and everyone's kind of merging down, and you'll get the guy that's going 60 miles an hour down the left lane, just passing everyone until the last possible second, then he moves over, and people are just like, yeah, I guess we'll let him. Like, that guy's not supposed to be there. You know, we passed the sign that says state law merge now. Yeah. He saw that sign. He saw all the signs leading up to that sign that said that his lane was ending. He saw the sign that says state law merge now. And he was like, no, I need to be at the head of this line for some fucking reason. Absolutely no courtesy to the other drivers, but some dipshits up there just like, oh yeah, go right ahead. I'm going to fucking fix the planet by being a little bit nicer in traffic. I don't understand who these fucking people are trying to service with this, because it's you're just like making everyone's fucking day a lot worse.
Yeah, and I don't get it. It seems like it's only limited to cars, because if imagine you're at a fast food place and you're standing there's one single line, right, and it's long, and someone walks in as someone is like finishing paying and goes straight to the front to order.
Yeah, there'd be an altercation.
There would be an altercation.
It's the same way, like, you're at Walmart or you're at a fast food place and you're in one line because there's one register open.
Yeah.
Or Quick Trip, and then another person steps up and goes, I can help the next person in line. And typically the next person in line steps over there, and it reverse zipper merges where it was one line and now it's two lines. Everyone kind of alternating.
Yes.
The odd number of people are staying in the original line and the even number of people are moving to the other line. And everything kind of flows along at a now slightly faster rate. Whereas if, like, the seventh guy in line was like, I'll take the next person in line, he's like, oh, I got these chips. It's fine. I got one bag of chips. Like, it just doesn't happen. We get in cars and suddenly, like, everyone's got to be a fucking saint to one another.
Yeah.
And just causing problems with their, like, I've had those times where I'm, like, waiting to get into a parking space, and it was like, go ahead. Like, no, I'm waiting for this guy to pull out so I can just fucking mind your own business. Stop trying to fix the world by being the director of all traffic around you.
Yeah.
Like, mind your own fucking business. I don't know. I want to know what's going on in these people's heads, because they have to be. I'm sure they drive around with this self-important, smug idea that they're, I'm being conscientious and I'm trying to make the world a slightly better place. Like, why don't you take the world and shove it right up your fucking pooper?
The worst is people that stop in merge lanes.
Oh yeah,
full stop. Like they're trying to turn.
I remember years ago we went to, like, a fireworks display for 4th of July at the river parks, and there was a traffic director out there, and we were parked in this big parking lot. I think it was just a field that they had closed off, but there was only one entrance and exit to this field, and there are about 100 cars in this field. And meanwhile, motorcycles were all able to park closer to the park where this was happening because they had dedicated motorcycle parking. So this guy is directing traffic. He is letting one car out of the field, and then he would let about 30 motorcycles drive by. In traffic, A car is equal to two motorcycles. A car has 4 wheels. 2 motorcycles have 4 wheels.
Yep.
One car is not equal to 30 motorcycles. That's a lot more fucking cars until finally, like the motorcycle guys were like, this is kind of fucked up. And everyone just started ignoring him. And the motorcycles would not go. They would wave the guy through. It's like that's the one time where your conscientiousness is saving everyone. Whoever the fucking dipshit was directing traffic was doing nothing for nobody.
Good, because that's another thing, right? Like we're in another place that's completely different, right? In all, I'm trying to think, all media I've ever seen, the traffic cop is there because he fucked up at work. He got demoted, right? And the other guys, they get demoted to traffic cop. In Rush Hour 3 at the beginning, Chris Tucker has messed up his police career, so now he's a traffic cop. The traffic cop is the laughingstock of the police lineup. So why is he like the most important person on the road?
Apparently,
in real life.
In real life, yeah, that's the way it ends up working out. I got this shit all the time as a bicycler, where like cars would try and give me space by following me instead of pass. It's like, just fucking pass me, man. Like I'm trying to take up the minimum amount of road by riding right on the right line, like as close to falling off the edge of the road or the curb as possible. Just fucking pass me. And don't, because it creeps me out that you're following me. Oh, we have to treat them like cars too. You don't. I'm a bicycler. Now, on a motorcycle, I'd like to be treated as one of the cars too, because I'm going a lot faster and I'm much more likely to die.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you get like people with these dipshit ideas of making the world a better place through like minor acts. I'm going to make the world a better place with like these small acts of good. You're not making the world a better place. You're just making everyone around you a lot more miserable. Whatever fucking guy that was at the front of that line was just, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if there was a cop up there directing traffic or what, but like it's 3 lanes. Our lane is not blocked by this accident. And also, even if it is, they should just fucking put big push bars on the front of cop cars. If you cause an accident in the middle of rush hour, your fucking car is getting pushed as far to the median as we can. We'll put a cone around it or push it into the grass. We'll fucking come back here at 7 or 8 o'clock when the traffic dies down, and then we'll figure this shit out. Snap a couple of photos, get that shit out of the fucking road, let everyone else go about their goddamn business.
Yep.
But no, like we have to pause everything for the NTHSB to get out there and fucking take photos and take measurements of shit. And we live in a world of digital devices where you can record everything around you.
Yeah.
Get all the data you need in seconds, and then just get the shit out of the road. Let commerce resume.
Well, I mean, and then you have the double whammy of looky-loos.
Oh yeah, that too. The people that have to cruise by at 5 miles an hour and look over there and be like, "Oh wow."
They have to figure out the make and model of each car involved, how many people were in each car, which one is completely totaled, which one's not, which one of them has insurance. I mean,
well, they want to do the thing that people do, where anytime there's an accident or a tragedy or whatever, it's like, oh well, you know, I was almost there. So they're hoping they get to work the next morning. Like, man, did you see that big crash on 75? Like, oh yeah, I was driving right by it when it happened. It was crazy. I was almost in it. I was almost in all three, in both World Trade Centers and the Pentagon.
I wasn't. I was halfway across the world.
I was thinking about going to New York that day.
Yeah,
pretty close.
Who was the celebrity that said they would have?
Seth MacFarlane.
Was it Seth MacFarlane? Yeah, he said if I was on the plane, I would have stopped it. What hubris!
I forgot to plug in my computer.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah. Seth MacFarlane was supposed to be on one of those planes and like slept through it, and then he wouldn't shut up about it for years.
Yeah.
And then Mark Wahlberg was like, "I've been on one of those planes. I would have kicked those guys' asses." So if only Marky Mark.
If only. Then he did the same thing with the Boston bombing, because then he cast himself in
in Patriots Day, yeah.
Patriots Day. He made himself like the big hero in that movie.
Fucking Marky Mark, man.
He's got a hero complex.
And what he's good in, he's really good in it. And what he's
Yes.
not good in is just garbage. Just unmitigated garbage.
Usually, yeah.
I Marky Mark is not one that I hate. I don't see a trailer for one of his movies and go like, oh. But I never see a trailer for one of his movies and go like, we got to check that one out.
I think I think pound for pound, he was a better musician than he was an actor. And I don't think you've ever even heard any of his musicians
or something, wasn't he?
Yeah. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Was that what it was really called?
That was it was really called.
Holy shit! No, I've never heard any of that. Not at all. I mean, we did get the other guys, so.
I mean, it all worked out.
Yeah.
Even if that Vietnamese guy had to get blinded or whatever.
Yeah, just drive selfishly. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Kind of like take care of your own business. Don't try and take care of everyone else's business.
Yep.
Oh,
which is just good life advice.
It's just good life advice, yeah. Like the guy that has to stop all traffic because he fucked up and missed an exit. Like just figure it out, take the next exit. Like,
yeah.
You don't need to inconvenience everyone around you because you're too stupid to get somewhere at the right time.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself those kinds of questions. It's like when we were I remember being in high school, first learning to drive, and all these girls would be like, "Oh, I'm scared to drive on the highway. I don't drive on the highway." Like, how are you going to get anywhere in life? You know, fucking take surface streets everywhere you go. Good, congratulations, you're going to live in Tulsa forever. What the fuck do you mean? And then I started thinking about it. At first, I like mocked these girls for those opinions. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, no, you're right. You should not be on the highway because you're going to get on there.
Yeah.
You're going to get on there and be one of those people that's like, you shouldn't be going 75 miles an hour. The speed limit's only 65. So I'm going to drive in the fucking left lane to make everyone drive safer. Mm-hmm. Get the fuck over to the right. Stay the fuck out of everyone's way. People do this shit in truckers do this to one another, and it makes me fucking crazy when they'll like let another trucker in to the left lane because we're passing like someone pulled over on the side of the road. And sure, the law is move over or slow down, but if there's someone next to you, the option is slow down. Not fucking I need to slow down so that you can move over so that now everyone's slowed down.
Yeah.
Which is also why interstate should be 3 fucking lanes wide. Keep the truckers over in the right 2 lanes and let everyone else drive as fast as they fucking want in the left lane. 500 miles an hour.
I'd say it's a good, I want to say like 40% of truckers are the angry box in, I can't let you pass me kind.
I know what, I don't think they do it intentionally, but I think that I don't think that they're like doing it to fuck everyone. But it does drive me nuts when I end up driving 2 or 3 or 4 miles behind 2 trucks because the one truck's going slightly faster than the other one.
Yeah.
I'm sure they hate California, but one of the things California has going for it is that they have a like truck speed limit and then an everyone else speed limit. So the result is you don't get a lot of trucks passing one another on the interstate and everyone else is fucking flowing along. Like, mind your own business. Don't be a zipper moron. Handle your own driving. Get yourself where you need to go and then get out of everyone's hair. I mean, I feel like that's the conscientious way to drive is to just go where you're going and not be in anyone's way on the way.
Yeah.
But apparently that is a insurmountable task for most people. Makes me want to just fucking punch them in the throats. Just punch them in the side of the head until they get it or they're too stupid to breathe anymore. Either one would work.
Yeah.
Well, that's my first issue, and that brings us to the middle of our episode, which means it's time for...
This episode is brought to you in part by Garigeta News Network. Definitely not fake news.
Well, Tim, what news do we have today?
Well, our first news story is from Hollywood. Deep fakes are getting more and more evolved and using them more. I think they used them in Mandalorian to make the young Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
And it didn't look great.
No.
Well, they're still going at it. Apparently, there's a new like big indie movie coming out called Fall. It's about a couple of people trapped on a radio tower. Well, to get a wider release, they needed a PG-13 rating. Unfortunately, the film had dozens of F-bombs in it. So they deep faked the actors to change their mouth movements to the dubbed over like fricks.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think this is the first movie that is doing this. They said that they didn't have the money for the reshoots, so this company came to them and said, "Hey, we can do it by deep faking it." And apparently, it's releasing like that.
So we've talked about wanting deep fakes for movies to be able to recast a movie like at home and be like, I don't want to watch a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. Let me recast him with someone who doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And like that would make a movie that's good. Like, oh, I want to see a movie where, you know, Jessica Alba shows her tits. So I'm going to find this movie where a person shows her tits and recast Jessica Alba as it, and that'll be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to get that. Instead, we're going to get this thing where directors film movies with a certain tone and meaning, and then studios are like, oh, we really don't want to release an R-rated film. We'll go ahead and go in here and deep fake this back down to like a PG movie so that kids can go see it.
Yeah.
And then the movie will still fail, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I guess people don't want to see that kind of movie. Like, no, they don't want to see watered-down garbage.
Mm-hmm.
You spent too much on a movie for a niche audience. Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't like how this is headed.
Not
and like I also don't understand the like. Well, if you want a wider release, it needs to be PG-13. I understand that. Like, I understand that concept, but what I don't understand is being like, no, I made the movie. I wanted it to be R-rated. Put it out.
Yeah,
let adults go see it.
We want the movie to have a wide release, so it needs to be PG-13. That's a decision that should be made in pre-production or the writing stage.
Yeah,
like the producers read this script and they're like, "Fuck you, fuck that, fuck me, fuck this, fuckity fuck," like the end of the end by the Doors, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and make this movie. It's gonna be great." And then last second they're like, "Oh no, we can't have people saying fuck all the time. This is not going to work out for us.
Yeah.
Let's make it a wider release." I also don't understand what happened to this world because my favorite movies as a child, Predator, Commando, Terminator 2, like all R-rated. Watched them all the time. RoboCop. What happened? Like Aliens, RoboCop, Terminator, they had toy lines.
They had Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, not like we're making like the toys they make today where they make toys for adults of these properties. These were toys aimed at kids. Colonial Marines, Aliens, Colonial Marines had toys for children.
Yeah.
That were in stores in the toy aisle next to Batman and Ghostbusters and Spider-Man and everyone else. R-rated property. What the fuck happened, Hollywood? That seemed to be fine.
Apparently, there's a rumor that
their kid is mature enough to consume this content. Fucking let them.
Yeah. There's a rumor that Batman 1989, the first draft, was R-rated.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but so that just goes to show you, like you know, I grew up loving Mortal Kombat. There was a Mortal Kombat cartoon.
Mortal Kombat, the film, was what, PG-13?
Yeah, but I mean, it's based on, you know, a spine-ripping video game.
Yeah, all the best games were rated M.
Oh yeah.
Like I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of a game that was like E for everyone that's in my mind a classic.
Yeah.
You know, even something like Star Wars Battlefront, I think was probably E10.
Probably.
Because there was death and stuff. Like that's what made games fun, was blood. There's too much of it in some media, but sometimes like I was watching Star Trek yesterday, and there was I watched the episode Who Watches the Watchers, where Picard is idolized as a deity, and at the end he gets shot by an arrow.
Yeah.
And like everyone's gathers around like, oh no, and the lady reaches out and touches him, and she holds up her hand. There's just blood on her hand. And today we'd either no blood. His shirt would be a little damp in that spot, or it would be like, and there'd be a spurt of blood, and he'd be like bleeding, and they'd have their hand over, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, Nerek, he's bleeding to death!" Ah, it'd be so over the top because there's no subtlety. It's either Deadpool 2 or it's got to be a Pixar film.
Yeah,
that's our choices these days.
Well, our next news story comes to us from the land where anything is possible, Florida.
Uzbekistan?
Oh. A man was taken into custody a couple weeks ago after he attempted to gain access to a Space Force base in Florida, Patrick Space Force Base to be specific. He said that he stole the Ford F-150 3 days before he did so. He said it was at the behest of the President of the United States, who told him in his head he needed to take the vehicle.
This is definitely all on Joe Biden, because anybody who has had any evil motivations in their mind that were even vaguely inspired by Trump is Trump's fault. So this is clearly Joe Biden's fault by those rules.
Yeah. So he needed to take the vehicle and go to the Space Force base to warn the government about a potential conflict between a war between aliens and Chinese dragons.
Yeah. Here's the weird thing to me in this story, because I read this story earlier this week. If Joe Biden told him to steal the truck and go warn the Space Force base, doesn't the government already know?
You would think so. But I don't know, man. The last few weeks if the last few weeks have told me anything, it's that no one talks to anyone else.
Oh, of course not. We were talking about that on the drive out to the river. We were talking about serial killers and stuff, and how in the 70s, states didn't intercommunicate on stuff.
No.
So like if you found someone in Arkansas strangled to death with like a garter belt or a pair of women's stockings, like a woman is strangled to death with stockings in Arkansas in say like Siloam Springs, which is just on the one side of the border, and then a woman is strangled to death in like Tahlequah, which is just on the other side of the border, also with women's pantyhose. They're not going to connect those two crimes together as being related, because they both go into two separate but equal systems. And like we have all this stuff now, like supposedly that's what the Department of Homeland Security and all kinds of things, FBI was all supposed to do, is collate that info, and they don't necessarily do that.
No, I mean, you think it works like it does in TV, where they're typing up the report in the computer on, Law and Order, and they're like, strangled with underwear, enter, and bing, this also happened in 3 other states. Like, oh, this guy's been moving around,
and they're connected in a straight line.
No, what happens is there's the person inputs it in, and it's a typo, and someone gets arrested for a different crime.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
That's what happened to me.
What'd they get you for?
They got me for strangling someone with outerwear. Like, no, that's not
with
jackets. Not what I do. Yeah.
You were the
jacket scarves.
You were the Jack in the Jacket killer. Well, speaking of Florida, we've got another news story from Florida. Apparently, the Sarasota Police Department had to put out a warning when there was some trouble at the South Lido Beach there in Sarasota. Apparently, it's manatee mating season there, and how manatees mate is they form what's called either a mating herd or a mating kitchen. Ball. It's basically it's a soup kitchen is what it is.
I've heard about this. It's where like one manatee is trying to fuck another manatee, and so a third manatee will come in there and like use themselves as leverage.
Yeah.
For the fuckers, yeah.
It's a soup kitchen.
We will have sex in your car again. It will happen.
They had to put out a warning not to stay away from the not to like, hey, the manatees are here, like don't go near them. They had to tell people to not touch the manatees because someone tried to.
A woman.
I don't know. They caught some pervert trying to like join the soup kitchen, basically.
Oh God.
Um,
It was probably Tess Holiday. You don't know who that is?
no.
Google her. Google her. Get on your phone right now. Pull over on the side of the road. Listen to the show. You listen to the show. You don't know who Tess Holiday is. You can't see your picture in your head.
All I needed was the the little Google,
Yeah.
the one sentence Google.
Sports
thing.
Illustrated swimsuit model Tess Holiday,
uh,
built like an overflowing soft serve machine.
Man, what a sight.
What's funny is like you see the picture of her on Sports Illustrated, and you that's I think the number one photo probably when she shows up, and you're like, oh God. That thing is airbrushed and touched up to make all that shit look as best as it possibly can. I've seen some like TikTok videos or Instagram videos with her in them, and it's just like, you don't eat for a day or two. Yeah, I'm not eating tomorrow. No lunch for me tomorrow. We're cutting back on the Oreos this week for sure.
Yeah. I kind of want to watch Ghostbusters now.
Should cast her as Slimer and Slimer's brother. The new conjoined twin ghosts. It's a pack of six Slimer ghosts all together in one room. They turn into a Voltron of ghosts. We're just gonna spray paint you green and film you in front of a blue screen, and then set your opacity down. You'll look like a ghost.
Well, we've got one last news story, and I think you're gonna love this one if you haven't already heard. A third-party safe technology advocacy group issued a claim this week that Tesla's full self-driving software represents a potentially lethal threat to child pedestrians. According to a safety test conducted by the Dawn Project, the latest version of Tesla's full self-driving software repeatedly hit a stationary child-sized mannequin in its path. They claim that the technology apparently has trouble recognizing children.
It's because children are people.
Yeah. They said that they found the software. This is the version that came out in June. By the way, it's not like this is last year's version.
Yeah.
Failed to detect the child-sized figure at an average speed of 25 miles per hour, hitting the mannequin every time.
So think about this in your head for a second, right? Like, what is if you were going to picture a child that can walk and be outdoors, about how tall in relation to your own body would you say that child would be?
Halfway up.
About waist high, right?
Yeah.
Can you think of anything that you might see while you're driving that would also be about waist high that would be very common?
Trying
like
to think what you get.
Traffic barrel.
Or like a concrete divider.
Yeah, you would think that the cameras in the Teslas would be like specifically attuned to things that were shorter than a person is tall.
Yeah.
If you're catching shit that's low to the ground, and then like a big tall guy walks by, he's got all the low to the ground area covered plus some. That should be extra easy. Like you nailed down not running children over wholesale, and you're pretty much guaranteed to not hit a pedestrian or a bicycler.
I mean, yeah,
but not Tesla. I just imagine Elon Musk standing there in the car coming, just like, boom, boom. Hey, look at him. He's like, eh.
Is there anything that's only 3 feet tall that you're good hitting, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like you completely fucked it up, man.
Yeah.
Kids should have been holding hands with the parent. Then it'd be fine. The car would see that. If it's not seeing a kid, it's not seeing a fucking cone.
Yeah. And what happens when you throw a giant backpack on that kid?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's an armadillo. Let's hit it.
What I love is that like they have all the videos of the Tesla. I've seen the videos where they like put a big hunk of concrete in the road and then drive the Tesla right over it because the underside is like a steel plate or something.
Yeah.
And they show that the steel plate just destroys those pieces of concrete. What do you think that's doing to a kid?
Yeah.
I hate that it's called full self-driving. Oh, it's full self-driving. But there's you should be watching for kids and cones and making sure. There are so many great videos on the internet of people with the full self-driving on. And they're just like they're watching their Tesla drive along, and then it's like driving oncoming traffic. No, Tesla, don't drive in oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the matter with you?
Or there's a turn and they just keep going.
Yeah.
Or of course, if you are in an accident, luckily the full self-driving turns off right beforehand.
Yeah, I read that story too, where the last second before you impact, it'll turn itself off and be like, "Yep, full self-driving wasn't on. It's all this guy's fault." He
Cover all their bases, yeah.
I just imagine that instead of an airbag, just a hand pops out with a finger, like, and it spills a glass of whiskey on you. It's like the airbag goes off and it just like covers you in booze. Like, sir, have you been drinking? No, my Tesla just spilled alcohol all over me. I don't even know where it came from. They're like, all right, let's hop out of the car. Run the diagnostic. Was full self-driving on? Full self-driving wasn't on. Yeah, full self-driving wasn't on, sir. It seems to me like you were drinking and driving. I was not. I've been framed by the car. Like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
With William Shatner. I'm being framed by my electric car. Well, do you have any more news stories, Tim?
Yeah, that's it for this week.
Well, this has been
Tequila Nouvelle Haïti.
Tout mal fêté chez ton nouvelle.
Well, that takes care of our legal obligations this week, Tim. But it doesn't take care of
What?
more of our child-sized mannequins. If you want to help, if you want to help us with that, you can visit us at patreon.com/HWIDG, which stands for
Here's Who I Don't Hit.
Which is the name of the show. And over there, we have 5 tiers. We have the $1 tier, which gets you early access to each week's episode, plus our monthly minisodes. We have our $2 tier, where we throw random bits and bobs. We're going to be doing a review of the new movie Prey, also known as Predator 17 or something at this point. We have our $5 tier, Here's What I Do Get, where we drop the hate and talk about what's great. Then we have our $10 tier, where you, the fan, submit a film, you vote what film we watch, and we watch and record a feature-length commentary. And then finally, we have our $50 Spite Producer tier, where you get a say in the show. You can ask for a guest or a special episodes. Right now, we've got one running where for the Mr. Kill Everything and Sage voicemails, we're going to be playing Careless Whisper over them. And we want to say thank you to our patrons, big and small, for supporting the show all these years. You help make it possible, and just very, very heartfelt thank you to all of you. But let's hop back into some issues, Tim. What is your second issue this week?
Here's what I don't get. Swinging the axe. Or really, it's not swinging the axe is what I don't get. So Warner Brothers is merging with Discovery, as some people might have heard.
Like Discovery that hosted Mythbusters Discovery?
Yeah, Discovery Plus is their... Yeah, it's weird. Discovery Plus is the brand, or not, I guess Plus is the streaming service, and it covers Discovery, HGTV, the Science Channel, a bunch of
a bunch of channels that nobody watches. Yeah,
right. Well, they're merging with
Warner
HBO.
Brothers.
Yeah, with Warner Brothers and HBO. Right. So HBO just came out and said, "Hey, here's a bunch of stuff that we're not releasing now." So the big news, of course, was the Batgirl movie, which I believe was supposed to come out early next year. Like there would have been a trailer coming out pretty soon, but apparently,
it was 90% finished. That's what I heard.
Yeah, something like that. And this is one of the next tentpole DC movies, and they just said, Nah, it's not very good. Well, I'm sorry, it's not good. We're just not going to put it out. It's 90% done. Like who? No one stops at 90%, right? No one stops at 90%.
There's a lot of buzz on the internet about this one, the Batgirl, because they released Birds of Prey, which got just shit canned in the
No one
reviews.
saw that.
And so people are saying that it's not so much that the movie is irreparably bad, because they have released a lot of it. Wonder Woman 1984,
Yeah,
Birds of Prey, Justice League. It's because this movie is all about the message,
mm-hmm.
and it's just you can't edit it to make it any better. So it's a day one rewrite. And it's even still not worth it. And do you know why? You know what I'm really hoping the reason why is?
Why?
Because they made another fucking redheaded black girl.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Well, and it's not just Batgirl. So it was Batgirl, right? There's the new Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah.
That it was already done. They were recording the score. They recorded the score right after it got canned, because they were already literally in the studio. So that happened. I think they axed the supposed Supergirl movie. They also axed the Green Lantern HBO TV show, which is nuts to me. When was the last time anything this ever happened? How many times have you ever heard of a movie getting 90% of the way through and then just being no, it sucks, we're not going to put it out?
There's only one I can think of in all of pop culture. It's Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. Yeah,
that's the only thing I thought
of. There's the J.D. Salinger or Robbie Salinger Captain America that I think was supposed to be in theaters and then got pushed straight to video.
Yeah, that happens. That happens sometimes when they're like, "This is really a piece of crap," but we already made it.
Yeah, it's the Batgirl thing is weird to me, because it's not even we're just gonna make it an HBO Max exclusive and just cut our losses by making it content that you can watch.
Don't advertise it.
They're just fucking pulling the plug. It's not even on not even on life support.
That's what is crazy about it. That's what's crazy about it. They could put in another $1 million or $2 million and do the post and finish it, and then not advertise it at all, dump it on HBO Max, and still make money off of it.
I'm curious if we'll end up, in 5 or 10 years with the torrent of this getting leaked on the internet.
Oh, I hope so.
X-Men Origins Wolverine, how there was the 85%
cut
complete cut, that got released on the internet, and people watched it and were like, "Wow, this movie sucks." And then it got worse.
Yeah,
I like it. I like that movie. I think I'm the only one.
Yeah, I do not like that movie, and it's not
it's
not
the great
bad CG.
It's not great. It's not a great movie, but it's better than fucking Apocalypse. It's better than that one Dark Phoenix.
Totally agree. But there is a scene in that movie where Wolverine
is the Roger Rabbit claws.
Well, aside from that, there's a scene in that movie where Wolverine is fighting a Gambit with no charm, and in the midst of that fight, there's a fire escape that he Looney Tunes chops that fire escape down. It's ridiculous. The movie also has Will.i.am in it.
High art, Tim. You just don't understand it because you're stupid. You're a big stupid idiot.
I guess so.
I love that that's now an argument of a movie's bad and somehow it's your fault that you think a movie's bad.
Yeah. But I'm actually I'm not proud of them, but I kind of applaud them for doing this.
Oh, I do. I absolutely applaud them. To me, what I hope it is, we don't know because we're not in on any of those meetings, but my hope is that this, because they brought in a new guy to head Warner Brothers Studios, and he's the one who's making all these decisions. And he's been quoted in the past as saying, if it's not making money, it's not worth it. Yeah. And I think he sees all of these big tentpole flops that are leaning heavily into like we need strong women, it needs to be about minorities, it needs to be about that. And he's seeing these projects and just being like, well, we've already dumped $80 million into this. We can jump another $20 million into it, put it out in plus our marketing, put it out in theaters, and then it makes $40 million opening weekend. And everyone tells us what a piece of shit it is. Or we can just cut our losses, dump this, and start fresh with something else where the goal is to make money and not to send a message.
Yeah.
Because I think people are really getting message out. I think even normies are seeing these things and just being
I think
like,
so.
Another strong black woman. And
I
specifically with Batgirl, the red-headed erasure is
yes.
just I cannot express how irritated I am about that cultural phenomenon. That's why I brought it into the show.
Yeah. It is, and it's weirdly specific.
It's a weirdly specific thing that they keep doing. And so I don't want to spoil too much of our Prey review, but I watched Prey last night, and I thought it was going to be she's strong female character, great at everything. And there was that to a degree, but it wasn't so in your face in Prey as I thought it was going to be.
Same. And it was, I think I would say it was earned.
I think that she had almost an arc. So I don't want to get too much into it. It was a lot better handled than other. It was comparing Prey's main character to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
As another great example of like strong female character that everyone loved. Prey is it's handled with like grace and subtlety.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine that this Batgirl movie was on par with something like Captain Marvel, where Captain Marvel made $1 billion or whatever it was, but Captain Marvel is also sandwiched between the two biggest Avengers movies of all time. Like, what are the next two that they're releasing back to back? Kang and Secret Invasion,
Secret Wars.
Secret Invasion is the TV show. Yeah. Those movies are not going to be as big as Infinity War and Endgame were.
I don't think
because there's no build. Like Phase 4 is fucking fumbling.
Yeah.
it is like a Benny Hill sketch watching the shit that's coming out of Phase 4. And Phase 5 is not going to get any better. Like they have no traction to get anywhere. And so I wish that someone at Marvel would have the guts to do this and be like, all right, we got a hard stop on all this shit. Like, this is not working. She-Hulk looks like a joke. People watch, I think on average, most people watch 3 episodes of Moon Knight and were just like, fuck this shit.
Yep.
WandaVision was a big flop. Doctor Strange is on the downward trend. Like, all of these movies are not doing well. Someone at Marvel should go, let's fucking hard cut here, throw all this shit away that's in production and reset our bearings because this isn't working. And that's what DC just did. That's what Warner Brothers just did.
I hope so.
And so I hope it works out for them because it is a gamble. But if you're going to gamble on let's try and make something that's good versus let's just stay the course. Because that's kind of what Star Wars has done is they didn't just fire Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
They brought in Jon Favreau as like a circuit breaker between Kathleen Kennedy and actual stories getting made. But like there's still her fingerprints are still all over everything. And you can tell like when characters like Reva in Kenobi show up that like those are things that machinations she had. That's the kind of story she wants to tell, where you tear down a legacy character and you build up a new character that is a new diversity hire.
Yeah. And
whereas if they had just been like, Kathleen Kennedy, you're fucking fired. Here's your fucking severance. Go fucking take it and start your own The Force's female studio if you want to and create shit for YouTube, but you're not fucking working on Star Wars anymore. You fucked it. You took a $4 billion franchise and fucked it into the earth.
Yeah.
It's amazing what has happened to Star Wars in just 10 years.
It's mind-boggling.
The fact that like the closing of a trilogy of Star Wars was not this humongous event. The way Revenge of the Sith was when we were middle school, and that came out I think the summer of 8th grade.
Yeah,
It
something like
was
that.
huge. No, I think it was 7th grade into 8th grade. I don't remember. It was huge. It
was
was
an event.
Huge event.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, it was on the news. People lined up around the block, and some of that is, the way we see movies is different now than it was then. But people were lined up around the blocks. People were showing up in costumes to theaters, and we did see that with the Final Countdown. But it wasn't. It was like we're going to hold this special screening for you people, and those people showed up in costume for that.
Yes.
People were showing up like Sunday of opening weekend dressed up to see these movies. People were seeing them multiple times in the weeks that they were out. Like, it was a big deal. It was a huge cultural touchstone event, the likes of which we'll probably never see again. And this, then the last one came out, and it was just kind of like, just a big fart.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it made a bunch of money at the box office, but it made less than the one before it, and it made less than the number 7.
Yep.
And it's like, that curve should be the opposite.
Yeah.
That you should be adding audience, not pushing audience away. People should be so in tune. Like, I remember when Endgame came out, you and I had a bet about what the weekend box office for that was going to be. And I said 350 million, and I think you might have said 300.
Yeah.
And we hit 350 million, and then it had a huge drop off the next weekend. Everybody's like, see? So yeah, because it was, you needed to see Endgame opening weekend.
The only reason people didn't see it is because they physically could not
buy tickets. I bought the tickets for that. I don't remember when, months in advance. Like, I don't think you're going to see that with an Avengers movie. And it's because they just keep putting these things out that just like water down the brand to continue to do something. And nobody has the bravery to go like, we got to hit the brakes on this and figure something better out.
Yeah.
The way you would, I don't know, if your home budget was just spiraling out of control on stuff that you couldn't afford, you would stop and be like, well, maybe I could sell this Mercedes and buy a Kia.
It's like that drill tweet where it's like, I spend $6,000 a month on candles, and then all the rest is the same. It's like, my family is starving. Please help me. And
people
so
like
spend less on candles. Absolutely not.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing is it's a perfect analogy, because they're doing this thing that looks shiny and bright, and people go like, yeah, we really want, I don't think that people don't want women characters. Like, they want to,
no, I think they want good movies.
Yeah. They want to pretend that like all these incels are out there like, I don't like women in my movies. Blah, 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 blah. Gee, I'm women. Ah. Like, I don't think that's the case. They want a good movie. Like, you
want a good movie.
And so these movies come out, and they're all banked on, we're going to get people to come watch them because strong women, or it's like Black Panther is such a diverse cast. Like, by such a diverse cast, you mean only like 2 white people? It's kind of the opposite of a diverse cast. I think what you mean to say is like a minority cast. And the fact that you went, that was, who was it? It was one of the stars in that was talking about being on set, and he's like, it was really weird because like all the backstage people were black, all the actors on stage are black, and it was like, it's something you never see, but you've never seen before. And in my mind, that's not sending the message you want it to be. It's like, yeah, all you blacks get over here and do your black movie, and all the white folks, we're gonna do Avengers Endgame or Infinity War. All the white people over here for Infinity War. You guys get your little black movie. back of the Marvel bus. Like, if those people are good at what they're doing, shouldn't they also be working on all the other movies?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And then like, what's the Captain Marvel 2? It's coming out next year, or whatever. It's called The Marvels, right? And it's got Captain Marvel. It's got Monica Rambeau, the black lady from WandaVision, and it's got Miss Marvel from Disney Plus. Those are all 3 characters that I enjoy reading in comics for the most part. Do I have any incentive to go see that movie?
No,
absolutely not.
Well, they're doing the same thing with Black Panther, like the new Black, because Chadwick Boseman died. I guess they're making his sister the new Black Panther.
I think so.
But the trailers are all about like it's all they're making a movie about the women characters that were in Black Panther, and
yeah,
sure I mean, insofar as in the quality of movie that was, they were good characters,
mm-hmm.
but predicating the movie on that, I think you'd be far better suited to just go like Chadwick Boseman died as Black Panther. We're going to retire Black Panther from the Marvel pantheon for a little bit.
Yeah.
And you wait 4 or 5 years. I mean, I think you could have done a thing where with this multiverse thing that they're introducing, didn't they like decide that this phase is called like the multiverse saga?
4, 5, and 6, yeah.
So you could just be like, yeah, we opened up a portal to another world where Michael B. Jordan's Black Panther. And now he's
yep.
Because he was great.
Yes.
He was like the highlight of that movie.
He's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
And his character was compelling.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, his character was right.
Yeah.
His character was absolutely right. You guys did fuck all to help the rest of Africa. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Now you're going to build a fucking embassy in Compton. Like that's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Black Panther. You fucking jive ass pancreatic cancer having piece of shit.
I also don't understand don't recast him. Like, I don't understand like the fervor of like, oh, he died. Like, yeah, actors die all the time and they get recast or written out of their movies.
They recast Terrence Howard after the first Iron Man film. Yeah.
Because he wanted too much money.
Yeah. And he was in deserving of it. Like his contract, the contract is a contract is a contract. 17th rule of acquisition, I believe. Anyway, well, that's a great issue, Tim. I've got an issue for you. Here's what I don't get: luxury phones. So my phone is at the end of its lifetime. It's not really my phone at the end of its lifetime. It's just like my phone kind of sucks. And I was thinking about getting a new one. Like the screen's cracked. I think I've just been flying through screens like it's nobody's business. And AT&T guy, when I had the AT&T stall, he's like, oh, AT&T will give you a gift card for switching and a free phone. The latest Galaxy S200.
Yeah, he tried to sell me up on phones too.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, I've had AT&T before. I could, pay one single bill a month instead of 2 bills. It ended up costing exactly the same. Actually, I think the cell phone service was less, but it doesn't really matter. So anyway, it's been on the back of my mind. I haven't really been thinking about what phone I wanted. So I popped open Amazon today to check on the status of a package that was supposed to be coming.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little bar there at the top. Pre-order the Galaxy Z Fold line now.
Yeah.
And here's a crazy thing to me, Tim. Now you watched all of TNG. Was there ever any product placement in TNG?
No,
there wasn't. Why was there no product placement in TNG?
Because they're in the future when none of these companies exist and or have all merged into one mega corporation that is under a different name.
Exactly. Well, the latest season of Picard, there's product placement because they said it in the present day.
Oh, sure.
But more so than that, the tricorders they use in Picard are Galaxy Z Fold phones with a case around them that lights up so that they can be like, boop, 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 which is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm out.
Tim quits.
God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. So I click on the Amazon thing. And I'm like, I'll see what these cost. Like a folding phone might be nice because then my screen won't get scratched up in my pocket.
Yeah,
and maybe I can get a phone that has like a camera that looks good. And so I click on there, and then it brings me to like the Galaxy store where I can buy earbuds and all this shit. And I have to scroll to find where the fucking phones are. Click on, they have like the Z Fold and the Z Fold Plus, and one of them is like a regular phone that folds in half, and one of them is 2 phones that fold in half like a book.
Yeah.
So I click on the 2 phones that fold in half like a book. You know what the 2 phones that fold in half like a book cost, Tim?
$1,300.
$1,800.
Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly because I bought it like more than a year ago.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure I only paid $1,700 for my laptop. That is 17 inches, has a 3 terabyte solid state hard drive.
That's pretty much maxed out for a Windows laptop.
For a Windows laptop. Yeah, it's got some NVIDIA. I don't remember it's the mini version of whatever it is, but it's I think greater than a 1080. Like
Yeah.
it's a pretty high quality laptop. Like I can play AAA games on high settings on my laptop.
Yes.
I cannot fucking even possibly imagine buying a phone for that.
Yeah.
Like I'm running like streaming software and recording software, and I've got VLC media player still open, and I have no problems doing any of this on my computer.
Yeah.
There's no way a phone could even come close to matching this. Like, what are you doing on your phone that you need this? And the answer is nothing. But people just pay this shit for phones every single year because, like, sure, I can pre-order the Galaxy Z Fold fold in half thing that has that's $1,800, but then next year there'll be the Galaxy Z Fold Plus 2 or whatever that will be $1,850, and the prices just keep going up. The last time I had like a top of the line flagship phone was the Galaxy S5, and that cost me $550. And that was in 2013, 2014. It's been 8 years, and suddenly phones cost 3 times as much.
Yep.
With fewer features. I mean, other than folding in half, fewer features in the Galaxy S5.
Yeah. Like
I don't understand who would possibly be buying these phones for what purpose. And Apple's the same way. Like, you can buy the iPhone 13G Plus, whatever they're on now, that has 17 cameras built into the back and finally has storage you can use, and those start out at about that price. Like, this shit is just spiraling out of control. I remember when cell phones used to be, you paid like $200 and then you signed a 2-year contract, and that was the cost of the phone. And they wrote off like the $200 or $300. Then they switched to the method where you paid like $20 or $25 a month, but phones were $6. Like, these people have to be paying. If you buy one of these Galaxy Z Folds, you're probably paying $40 a month just for the privilege of having a phone in your pocket.
Yeah. On top of having to have that phone for the next 4 years.
No, you only have to have that phone for a year, because then they'll waive the rest of your payments if you trade it in on the next newest phone. And it's just a way to con you, like, oh yeah, you don't have to sign a contract for your wireless, but so instead you're shackled in with a contract. What are you people doing on your phone that is this resource intensive? Like, I browse Discord, I get emails, I send text messages, every now and again I take a photo. Like, nothing I'm doing on my phone is so critical that I need something that's at the value. You could buy a used car on Craigslist for the price of these phones now.
Yeah.
You go buy like a little, piece of shit Honda Civic off Craigslist for probably $2,000 and ricer that sumbitch up and go have more fucking fun and entertainment with a piece of shit TCL phone in your pocket than you would by carrying around the latest and greatest Samsung folding piece of garbage. I truly do not get this marketplace, where I remember when the iPhone first came out and they released the iPhone, and then the next year it was the iPhone 3G. And it was like, oh, well, I got to get this one because, it has 3G. The original didn't have that. So now I'll be able to like stream the internet even better. And then the next year it's like, oh yeah, it's the iPhone 3GS. It's got a little bit better battery life, but it's not like a full hardware upgrade. And I'm like, you're getting that one too? Like, no, I'd probably stick with the 3G. Like, it works fine. And then next time you see them, they got the 3GS, and you're like, isn't that the S? Oh yeah, well, mine was having these problems. And the next year, here's the iPhone 4, and now we're so many years down the line. Like, these are disposable things. We were talking about inflation, and in one of the Discords I'm in today. In 1965, Do you know what the base model Mustang cost off the line? All right, hold on. Let me think about that for a second. In 1965, what was the median household income, Tim?
$10,000.
It was about $5,500,
Wow. Okay.
which in today's dollars, I think is about 25 grand, 25 or 26 grand. Now, think about this. My parents were born in 1963 and 1966, so right around that time. Now, my dad's family was a little more chaotic. My mom had like the traditional nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather worked for a living 40 hours a week. My grandmother was a stay-at-home mom. My mom had 4 siblings. They owned their own home. They had multiple cars. And they raised 5 kids on $5,500 a month, or about what someone makes on minimum wage today.
Yeah.
Now the median income, I think actually, sorry, the median that translates into $60,000 today. The median income today is $67,000 a year, and with that, you are probably living in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
You are probably paying for a car that you don't own.
Yeah.
And you likely have 1 to no kids. And if you're living in a house with all these things, it's probably a 2-parent household where both parents are working 40 hours a week.
Yep.
For this money.
And renting it.
And renting it. How much have our lives improved with this shit of sending 2 people out in the workforce? Now, with all that in mind, 1965 Mustang, what do you think it cost off the line for the base model?
$7,500.
It cost $2,427.
Jesus
for
Christ!
A brand new 1965 Mustang. Now, granted, that's the base model 289. Doesn't have the 2x2. It's not a performance model by any stretch of the imagination. Today, that ends up being about $22,000, $21,000 for the Mustang.
Today's an Acura for $22,000.
Today's base model Mustang, the EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine with no upgrades, will set you back $27,000. Same car. Where's our money going, man?
Yeah,
going into just being vanished into nowhere, into stupid things like paying for a luxury cell phone that we don't need. When you could just buy outright on Amazon some like Chinese knockoff brand.
Stop you're gonna do the same thing on.
Yeah. Stop taking photos of your meals for Instagram and only use it for calling and text and like go out there and experience life. We can't do that. Like our lives have been ruined by the continuation of technology and society and culture. We've just slid into this awful world where what used to be half of it costs half as much to be alive.
Yeah.
When our parents were born than what it costs today. Where did that money go?
It went into record-breaking profits.
Apparently. And the other funny thing is, so after 1965, like that median income's right about adjusted for inflation dollars, $60,000. It's basically flatlined.
Yeah.
Like the amount has grown. Like it was $5,500 in 1965, and now it's $60,000. When you adjust all that shit for inflation, it's a fucking flat line. The middle class has just been completely erased.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It's incredible. And yet we look at these things and we go, yeah, I need to buy $1,000 plus cell phone so that people will think that I'm important.
And my kids have to have them too.
And your kids have to have them too.
And I think these days kids are really, as far as I have seen, kids are really, really onto brand name.
Yes. Yeah. My sister is so vain that she requires the brand name, the Lululemons, can't have like a plain, like, I don't even know where it is. I have like a plain thermos that they make now. It looks like a Hydro Flask, tops the compatible with the Hydro Flask, Does say Hydro Flask on it. It had to have a Hydro Flask. Has to have the name brand things. Has to have an Apple Watch and an iPhone because those are the cool things. Can't have some like cheap phone. Can't have no phone. And it's only going to get worse. We're just going to keep dumping our money into nothing, and then wonder why we're so. All these millennials complain about how they're poor. How many of you are on an iPhone that's less than 5 years old?
Yeah.
And Tim, you were on the same phone for a good 3 or 4 years that you paid for outright. That cost nothing.
Yep.
Did all the shit you needed to do. I had the Galaxy S5 until 2019 when I switched to the Motorola phone. And I've been through 3 of those. That was a huge fucking mistake.
Yeah, I got the Google Pixel 6, the most expensive phone I've ever purchased. Still, it was only $600.
Yeah,
and it wasn't $1,700 or whatever.
Ridiculous.
But also, I did it knowing that like that 3-year-old phone or whatever was getting really slow. It was hindering my daily use of it. Yeah.
Well, and part of that is they designed the apps to not work well on old phones.
Yeah.
They push these Android updates or iPhone updates. Apple has admitted to in court of sabotaging your battery life on old devices, running processes on old devices that make them slow down to get you to buy the next new thing.
Mm-hmm.
The next phone I buy, I'm fucking disabling automatic updates and just living with whatever it's running when I buy it. That's what I'm running for the rest of its fucking lifetime, because until the thing breaks. These apps don't need to update every day. Every fucking day you log into Discord, there's a little green arrow. Every time I turn on my computer, Brave has some new little update. Oh yeah, we need to update these Chromium deals. They got rid of the card-based system in all of Chromium, and then everybody just kind of accepted it.
Yep.
Brave was like, yeah, we'll try and add it back in. They just never did. We'd have to do coding. We can't do that. But you can keep pumping out updates every week? What the fuck?
That's why I stopped using them. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to go back to Chrome, but like, at least with Chrome, it's not like I'm aware of the fact that I'm getting fucked in the ass by Google.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Brave, I'm just getting fucked in the ass by proxy. Chrome is holding a dildo that is fucking me in the ass.
And then I was literally thinking about this the other day because I was trying to watch a Twitch stream, and it kept on buffering and dropping to the lowest possible resolution, and then cutting out, giving me like error, like literally stopping the video and going like, hey, there's an error, and I couldn't figure out because I could play other stuff just fine. So I opened up Firefox, played it on there in a different window, worked just fine.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, maybe I want to switch back to Firefox. I switched like every like 10 years apparently.
Yeah.
Because every 10 years, one overtakes the other. One gets bad, the other one gets better. But then it's like, I really got to deal with all the hassle of changing everything over.
Think about it this way. I have a watch. This watch, in fact, right here, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
It's Omega Speedmaster. It was manufactured in 1991. It was manufactured somewhere between, I think, 6 weeks before I was born, 3 weeks before I was born, or 6 weeks after I was born, based on the serial number.
Yeah.
It's a 31-year-old watch. Still tells time. Looks good with any outfit. Chronograph works. It needs to be serviced. It gains time over the course of a couple of days if I keep it wound.
Mm-hmm.
The phosphorescence that's supposed to light up, I don't think it's ever been serviced by Omega directly. So phosphorescence needs to be repainted, little tiny things like that. But largely, it still works. This watch is, I think, worth somewhere in the range of $2,000, $2,500. If I got it serviced, it'd be probably worth a little bit more. This watch costs as much as one of these new phones. I can imagine a world where I give this to my son on his 21st birthday. or when he
Yeah.
graduates from college, or when he gets married. I'm not going to give my son a 25-year-old Galaxy Z Fold.
No.
Things used to be made to be to last, to preserve. Like, I'm not the first owner of this watch. I bought this watch because when it became available for sale and I looked up its provenance, I thought, wow, how cool is it that I bought this on the 50th anniversary of the moon landing? How awesome is it to buy a moon watch on the anniversary of the moon landing that can feasibly have been made when I was born?
Yeah.
Like that, it was just a weird, like, confluent, it was a weird thing of timelines meshing together, and it could theoretically last forever. Think about the oldest piece of technology in your house right now. A piece that's in your house, the oldest thing. So the laptop that I use to do the sound effects for this show was made in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
The TV that you gave me, probably slightly older than that.
Yeah.
Now maybe the washer and dryer that's rented is older than that, probably, or the fridge. But think about that. Technology, furniture, all this IKEA furniture. These shelves behind me they're Target brand furniture. They've survived several moves at this point, but a couple more, and they will have shaken themselves apart.
Yeah.
Comparatively, this solid wood bar that's behind me has been beat to shit by more owners than me, and then I refinish it. It looks great. That's something that just get moved and moved again. The dresser that I have in there, that's solid wood, like, none of this shit's made to last anymore, and it just pisses me off. Like, if your phone is disposable, it should be priced to be disposable. If the Galaxy Z Fold that was meant to be replaced every year costs $200, $300, fucking sure, no problem. I'll buy a new phone this year. The way you buy tires for a car. You know, a new set of tires for my car would probably be $800, maybe $900, depending on whatever the special is. But those are 60 or 80,000 mile tires. Those are meant to last 3, 4 years, 5 years, depending on how much driving you do. So you're going to spend twice that for a phone that can't make it 2 years, 3 years before they've slowed it down so much that you have to get it replaced with another $3,000 item. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, the level of technology. A luxury phone. A pager. This shit used to be that expensive. Like, when cell phones were brand new, they were that expensive.
Yes.
Because the technology was expensive. It was hard to find. They were kind of learning as they went. But, like, the joke about those old Nokia phones, they lasted forever.
Yeah, man, it's and no one cares.
Yeah, and every new generation, they make every leap forward in this technology, they make it a shorter lifespan than the one before it.
Yeah,
like, when you look at gaming consoles kind of like ramped up, and then the Xbox 360, PS3 generation hit, and we had that generation forever. Those are really made consoles, and then it was like, oh shit, we're out of stuff. Let's throw out the PS4. PS4 was out for 6 years, 7 years before the PS5 came out. By the time the PS5 is widely spread around, they'll be on talking about releasing the 6 with the way things are going. And the same thing with computer parts. I remember when the 1080 Ti was like, that was the fucking apex of graphics cards, and it was around for a while. And now there was like the 2080. Now we're on the 3080.
The 40 series is coming out soon.
40 is coming out next year. Yeah, it's just like, holy shit, we're just flying through numbers now.
Yep.
Just to be like, and the 1080s will still run all modern games.
Yes.
Just fine. And they're like, yeah, well, you better get a new one. You're not going to be able to run like one specific niche deal. 2080 has ray tracing. Like, oh, neat. Neat. Just blow more money on it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, that's my issue, Tim. So then I guess that's it for the episode.
Yeah.
So until next time.
Was it 298?
298.
Yeah, two more, man.
299. Recording this Sunday, 8:14. I think I said it for like 3 p.m. I said it early in the afternoon. I posted the link in our Discord. If you want to call in, join us on the show this week. We'll hear your don't gets. You can, say goodbye to the show. So join
Yell
us
at
then.
us, do whatever.
Call us cucks.
Mm-hmm.
So until next time, I'm Tab Burt.
I'm Tim the Handlebreaker.
Catch you next week.
See ya.
If you want to call in the Here's Get a Hotline, call us at 704-750-9434 and tell us what you don't get. Or you can visit us on Discord in the voicemail upload channel, and we actually have one from, I think, last week that I forgot to play. So here's that one. Oh, hold on. I think I need to change. Yeah. Here we go.
Hey guys, Dark Dick Man here. It's been a while, but I've got something for you. Been a little creative. Hope you like it. Disclaimer to the feds watching, this is not an explicit plane for violence. It's just a rap song with wild words. It's just a flavor. So don't get your knickers in a twist. I'll begin. Backpack raps with gets automatic. Mammoth bag is savage, you jack boys has caught a rabbit. And the rabbit was flat back where the mammoth was caught lacking. Smoking loud packs in the back all hacking. Till you look back on what we stacking, we be all laughing. So don't give me all that jazz and know you can't go back to the lab and caught out by lad strapping. So what's happening? It's too maddening to imagine you faggots extracting without a slapback, so here have it. But give me back my rabbit so I can whip up a stew and whip your honey up into a particular mood. Give it the cue. She lick my stiff like a sick tick. Stick to my shoe. Give it the flip. If the pink stink, give it the boo. Never a ring thing. Stay for the big thing. Picky you new. And if the peg thank you sticking me to, leave his missus sticky like the Elmer's in the bottle. He tried to hit me back, his shit was whack, that's when they got him. He ate it from the automatic, Lizzie to the bottom. Stay strapped or get clapped, that's why they keep it on him. I'm honored that you're bothered, but it's not my problem. Ain't been no honor in your dogs since a decimated squadron pulled some Waco on their windows and they started falling. Sprung it on him in the autumn, left him stinking for the wicked winter. Dug him up in the thaw, smack him in a John, threw him back in a hole without no soul and a pile of shitter. Still with a hoe, ain't still had no problems with her, but I ain't claimed to make no saints out of sinners, just trying to be the winner. Fishing niggas fit inside of the dough out of which I'm trying to fit her. Finna slide out the picture, but before I deliver, let me holler at you quicker, but keep a distance. Tell your man to stand back before I split his pieces. Jesus, believe this, before I give him reasons. Ain't been no cat this high, so space God created 4 seasons. Just to let it snow and put in the pool on the top floor. Took him to school looking a fool, give me some mo. His flow blew the roof off the joint, then he packed it up in a dro. Next to the dro in a bamboo. Cause if you and your hoe don't smoke, don't understand you. Sounds all Greek if you ask me. But your chick looking freaky as Tad Tiki with that ass be. Don't mean no harm, just turn around and keep it jiggy. Like Miss Piggy Dome and crummy off the henny. Don't need to ask, always kept a thing with me. So what do you think?
That was dope.
Yeah. I think he listens to a lot of MF Doom, is what I think.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't listen to a lot of rap because I'm white and I just accept that.
You accept that you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready for another Mr. Ed update?
Oh, yes. Where's he going now?
Mr. Ed update.
We've had the air, we've had the land. Hopefully, he's
This
stealing a
is C,
boat next.
Mr. C. Ed.
In episode 24 of season 3 of the classic American documentary series, Mr. Ed. Ed dresses up as and pretends to be Abraham Lincoln. He then sees a bunch of birds. The birds then immediately terrorize the civilized white people and contribute nothing to society. This episode is such an accurate social commentary. Kudos to the Ed crew.
So he got us with 2 like vehicle ads, and then in here he's like, yeah, 1355, Mr. Ed. He's like really changing up what the whole format was. Here's another one from the voicemail hotline.
Yeah, I don't get dishwashers where you have to have it open and then you hit start and then close it. Like, I understand dishwashers that have like the buttons on the top where you can't access them while it's closed, but I just moved into this new fucking place that has a dishwasher where I could easily access the fucking controls on the front of it. So I come home, hit start, take a shower, come back out, I'm like, why isn't the dishwasher going? Fiddle around with it, try that stupid little technique where I have it open, hit start, and close it. Sure enough, it fucking works. That is the most retarded design I've ever saw. It's retarded. Also, I want to start a beef with Tim. Fuck you, Tim. Move to St. Louis so you can keep doing the podcast with Tap.
My dad's dishwasher, every so often you'd push the button and it would just not do anything. It was really fucking annoying because you'd like hit it before you left for work or before you went to bed, thinking I'll unload it the next morning or when I get home from work, and then everything in there would still be dry and dirty. Be like, what the fuck, dishwasher? So I like mine now. I don't love it because the top rack is not tall enough for all my cups to go in there.
Mhm.
But it's one of those old fucking turn knob ones.
Oh, yeah.
Then it starts. There's no doubt. You fucking turn that thing to anywhere past the start point, and your dishes are getting washed, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And my water is like 700 million degrees. So I don't even think I'd have to put soap in there. It just melts it off with hot lava.
Yeah.
My water gets scalding hot so quickly. It's dangerous. It's some dangerous shit. All right, we've got one more from the voicemail, and then we have a little bit more from our lover's quarrel.
What's up, guys? Merlo Williams here, and here's what I don't get. Available for pickup. So my shitty dresser that I bought years ago at Walmart finally went the way of the dodo when I hulked off one of the fucking drawers of the cheap Chinese crap that it was with all of its plastic brackets. So I went to go pick up another one, because the adults are in charge and finances are a little tight, so I gotta go get another cheap fucking dresser to hold me over in the meantime. They don't have a dresser at the Walmart that I normally go to. So I'm driving all over town because there was one that's at 8 miles away. Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go grab that one then. I go to the store and I look at the shelf and it's empty. So I grab one of the passing employees and I have the misfortune of running into Matthew, the mouth-breathing wonder tard, and ask him if they have any of these dressers in the back. To which this fucking idiot responds, well, yeah, it's in the back, but I don't work in the back, and it'd be really hard for him to get to. I'm like, oh, okay.
How do you know that?
I
You don't
can
go
wait,
back
no
there.
big deal. I kind of need a dresser, so I don't mind waiting a little while. And this idiot responds, well, it'd be buried behind a bunch of stuff and, super hard for him to get to. So I
That's
asked
not the way
them,
backs work.
No.
what are you talking about? What does that mean? It's behind a bunch of stuff. Well, again, I don't work in the back, so I don't know, but it'd be available for pickup. What do you mean it's available for pickup? Well, did the website say it was available for pickup? I'm like, well, yeah, and I show them the little thing on my phone.
I'm
I
here
show
to
'em the
pick it up.
website. And yeah, then it's available for pickup. What do you mean it's available for pickup? Can I not purchase it today? And this idiot is standing there just slack-jawed, not understanding what I'm saying. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, help me understand the process here. How does this work? So it's available for pickup, but it's not available for purchase. And he says, well, it's not on the shelf, right? And I go, yeah, that's correct. Well, that means that we don't have any in the back because all of our stock is on the floor, but it's available for pickup.
Where are you picking it
I'm
up?
like, what is the
Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
so you're telling me you have this thing that I'm looking
You mean
for? I have
water?
money.
Like from a
I'm in
toilet?
your establishment, and I want to spend money here. I want to give you money for a
Fuck's
thing,
sake.
but I cannot purchase it because it is not available for purchase, but it is available for pickup. So is what you're telling me that I have to go online, buy this thing, and I can come back in tomorrow and pick it up? And and I'm at that point, I'm just like, you know what? Never mind. I'll figure it out. And ultimately, that's what wound up happening. Boy, howdy, I might sound like a fucking boomer, but I miss the fucking days when you could walk into a goddamn store and fucking give them money and walk out with a thing that you want. Jesus fucking Christ. This bullshit with fucking Walmart trying to be Amazon is fucking infuriating. I've never in my life wanted to call a retail worker a retard to their fucking face before, because I've worked retail jobs. I know how it is. I know how shitty people can be, but this motherfucker was absolutely less than helpful. It was so infuriating, and I'm so angry even now that the fact that I had to go online, drive back the fuck home, and then drive back to that same store the next fucking day to pick the fucking dresser up. It's bullshit. Sorry for the length on this, guys, but I had to get it out to someone who I knew would appreciate what I'm dealing with here, because god fucking damn, these are the people that believe that they deserve $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It absolutely is.
Christ.
It's about to get a whole lot fucking worse. You know, he mentioned that Walmart wants to be Amazon. They now have Amazon, or not, they now have Walmart Plus.
Yep.
That I guess you pay monthly for fucking what I don't know.
The same thing you get as the free 2-day shipping.
So when's the last time you've been to a Walmart, Tim?
It's been a few months.
Yeah. Well, my dad's house was by a Walmart, so I went to that one pretty frequently for stuff.
Yeah.
And one day they suddenly started remodeling by building a wall about 30% of the way, maybe even 40% of the way through the Walmart. And they took all the stuff that was in the big Walmart Supercenter and shoved it into the little tiny footprint so that they could essentially make more back.
Yes.
So that they could have more Walmart pickup stuff. And I thought, man, this is weird, because none of the other Walmarts in Tulsa were doing it.
Well, now they are.
And then one by one, I started going into different ones and seeing this wall start to go up and stuff kind of shuffle over there. And then I moved out here and I'm seeing it in places, and they're creating more back, so there's less stuff on the shelf and there's more stuff that you order and pick up. And I don't understand that.
They're segregating it.
Yeah, it's two different stocks. Target did this to me years ago with a Lego set, where I went in to buy it because I saw it was available on their website. There was none on the shelf. I asked an employee, and the employee was like, "No, we're out." And I said, "But it says right here that I can order it on your website and pick it up in store in less than an hour." And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you." So I ordered it online for pickup in store in less than an hour. Did the rest of my shopping. Get a text message or email. It's like, bling, your Target order is ready to pick up. Pull up to the pickup thing with all the other stuff I bought today. Like, yeah, I have my order here ready to pick up. Oh, yeah, here you go. So there was some in the store.
Yep.
I had to drive to Illinois the other day to buy a lawnmower for this reason. From Walmart, no less. God, fuck this shit. And that's the other thing is, like, the employees don't even realize that they're getting fucked out of a job.
No.
You think in a world where you're like, oh, yeah, it's available for pickup, that you're going to have a job for much longer? You're going to have a job in air conditioning? Because let me tell you, they're not fucking air conditioning the back for you monsters.
No.
All right. Tim, are you ready?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Here we go.
Deadhelm. Oh, I hope that sage beats the fuck out of you and then fucks you in your ass. So not are you only going to get the shit kicked out of you, but you're going to get fucking raped.
It's a three-way now.
How romantic.
I thought Mr. Kill Everything were on the same team of against Sage, But now Mr. Kill Everything is against Deadhelm and Sage is against Deadhelm and Mr. Kill Everything. I don't remember where Deadhelm stands on all this, but I feel like it needs to be like a snakes and ladders cage spit swapping cage match on the here. 1 versus 1 versus 1.
Yeah, free for all.
3 men enter, 1 man leaves. Like the Thunderdome. Thank you to Matt from Minnesota for this suggestion because it's incredible.
Yep.
Anyway, well, those are our voicemails for the week. Thanks everybody for listening. Join us on episode 299 this weekend on Sunday the 14th. We'll be on YouTube. There'll be a StreamYard link. You can join the stream, and we'll bring people in one by one. If people want to like air their beef out, we'll put them on together, and everyone can bring your don't gets, bring your well wishes, and we'll see you all there. So thanks for listening.